Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit that subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tender wars is threatening to split the UDA or Kenya Kwanza administration down the middle, with the latest story or the latest war pitting Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei against CS Transport Murkomen. Murkomen has gone further to sue Nandi Senator Cherargei over what he calls defamation. Let's listen in.
Kunishtaki kwa kutetea watu yangu haki na barabara kule Nandi. Nataka niwahakikishe wakaaji wa Nandi, hata kama nimechukuliwa kotini, sitatishwa. Niliwahi sema hapa sinunui uoga hata nikipewa bure. Amejaribu kunitisha kutuma goods kunitusi katika matanga, lakini vile ameona mimi si muoga na sinunui uoga, ameelekea kotini. Hiyo tutaenda kotini, tutapambana nao. Mimi nitapambana kotini, ndani ya maji, angani, hewa, kila mahali, juu ya nyumba, chini ya kitanda, kila mahali. Nitapambana mpaka watu wangu wapate haki katika kaunti ya Nandi. So hiyo kunishtaki, na unajua uzuri wamenishtaki kwa kutetea watu ya Nandi. So it means they have, in fact he has taken to court the people of Nandi. In short, ameshtaki watu zaidi ya milioni kwa kaunti ya Nandi kuwachukua kotini kwa kutaka barabara zijengwe katika kaunti ya Nandi. Na nimefurahi kwa sababu sisi wote wakati wa Nandi tutakuwa kotini tukishtakiwa na waziri wa barabara kwa kuuliza yeye harakishe kujenga barabara katika kaunti ya Nandi. In an upshot, so that without being contradicted, let me put it in English. The CS of roads has taken me to court. He has not only taken me to court, he has taken the entire 1 million plus residents of Nandi to court, because what I was demanding for roads, for development of roads in Nandi, he is the one who has taken us to court for only asking for fairness and equity in terms of roads development in Nandi County. And I want to assure him, he tried sending goons and other leaders to come and insult me in funerals. I resisted strongly. After realizing that strategy failed, he is now rushing to court to try and gag me from fighting for the rights of the people of Nandi. I have bad and sad news for him. I'll fight this thing in court. I'll fight it in air, in sea, in bed, under the bed, on top of seats and everywhere, until the people of Nandi get quality roads.
You remember, ladies and gentlemen, that this war started some months back, where Nandi Senator Cherargei accused Murkomen of taking kickbacks from Chinese tenderpreneurs or contractors and ignoring local tenderpreneurs. This did not sit down with Cherargei, and he even went to parliament, where during question time he was kicked out. I would want you to listen in to Cherargei's accusations. Then after that, we will analyze and digest the whole story, and I will give you my take on this war that is about to split UDA administration.
Personally, sinunui uoga, because bei ya uoga ilishuka. Hata wakinipea free siwezi nunua. So I know truth will always stand with me. The people like Jean Maria Serone, the people who stood with the right are still remembered because they stood with the people. I want to assure my people of Nandi and the great people of Kenya, we shall continue speaking the truth and doing our oversight work without fear of anybody, including 10% from Chinese. You don't go and eat 10% of Chinese and come and vomit out our legs. We'll call you out when time comes. And I still have many doors here to show when the CS visited. That one is too hot, eh? Can we? He visited, I'm trying to get China Wuyi. In China, he has visited China severally. And you heard at the floor of the house defending Chinese contractors. Where will the hustler contractors who voted for us go if you are giving them contract? Because he received a bribe, and I am daring him to come clean on the allegation of receiving $100 million from China Wuyi when he visited in the month of between June and October. I want him to come out and tell the country. Because every time when he came to insult me in the funeral, he defended the Chinese contractor. Who will defend Kenyans who are contractors? Or does it mean Kenyans, we don't have capacity of doing roads? Even slashing and clogging drainages, do we need Chinese to come and slash? Where will our young people who do not have jobs go? So I want to dare him to tell the country what agreement did they agree on allegations of receiving 100 million US dollars from China, where he was paid an affront of 50 million US dollars. And we have all the facts. We have the flight manifest. We know where the money is in Dubai. It is that some of us are just keeping what we call decency, but it has reached a time that the country must know the truth. And that is why he decided to ensure he gets protection from the House, so that some of us do not speak and tell the country the truth.
Now, they say that politics is about interest, and politics is about resources, power, and having the authority to allocate those resources. And when it comes to interest, when it comes to business interests, most of the time it's about tenders and kickbacks. And in this case, Cherargei is accusing Murkomen of awarding tenders to foreigners and getting kickbacks. However much I don't support the issue of kickbacks, however much we would also want to support local entrepreneurs. But one key thing that we also need to note down here is the fact that local entrepreneurs, as much as we would want to support them, sometimes they don't have the capacity to do some of these jobs. So Murkomen might be right, because if we take, for example, some of the infrastructural projects that have been done in the country, most of the time they're done by Chinese firms, maybe a European firm, and they deliver. That is one thing that we have to give to them, that they do their job very well. If you lived during Moi's era, if you can remember what used to happen, we used to have farms like Kirinyaga Constructors then, who were awarded tenders, but they could not deliver at the end of the day. You'd see that they've delivered on paper, while when you go to the ground, there was no project. So that is why when Kibaki came in, he started looking for farms from China, European, and all that. Those who would be given tenders and they deliver. But where I don't agree, if it's true that there is the issue of kickbacks, that is now where we have to draw the line. If there is the issue of kickbacks, then whenever a farm is awarded a tender and then they have to give a kickback, like let's say 10% of the whole tender, then it means that part of the money which was supposed to be used in that project will be given back as a kickback. One, that project might not be delivered to satisfactorily. Then two, when it now comes to inspection, then someone will be forced to look the other way if that project is not delivered satisfactorily. Then the third one is the fact that this is where now corruption comes in. You find that you find that someone might be awarded a tender, even if he's a local guy, he might be awarded a tender. He doesn't have the capacity, but since he knows he has connections and is able to give a kickback, then they are awarded that tender and then they don't perform. So performance and the capacity to do the job, that is what should inform how we award tenders. So if local companies can do those jobs, then we need to promote them. But if we don't have the capacity, then there is no need of awarding tenders to them. You remember, like yesterday, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga talked about the Ministry of Education awarding a tender to a local tenderpreneur or a local firm who had no capacity to deliver. And that is what has brought the whole country to a mess in terms of the results of KCP, whoever was awarded the tender had no capacity to do that. Those are the allegations by the former Prime Minister. I still don't know if it's true, but if it is true, then it informs the basis of this argument. That sometimes we do it trying to give our proxies, our friends, but they fail to deliver, hence plunging the whole country into a lot of problems. So I agree with Murkomen. If it's true that is awarded tenders to outsiders on merit, if they have the capacity. But where I draw the line is when he gets kickbacks so as to award the tenders. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my take in the whole saga is, one is the government should try as much as possible through the Ministry of Trade and the Chambers of Commerce to try and help local entrepreneurs build their capacity in terms of technical know-how, and two, their financial capacity to uptake some of the tenders that are being awarded locally. It's true that we need to support the local entrepreneurs, local farms, but first we have to try and build their capacity in terms of technical know-how and finance. Secondly is the issue of the process. We need to follow the correct procedure in awarding these tenders, because most of the time, some of the wars like the one that we are currently witnessing between Cherargei and Murkomen is not helping the common man at the end of it, because sometimes there could be delays. Some people will go to court, some people will, so it will drag down. And at the end of it, who suffers? It's the common man. So after building the capacity of local farms, we need to follow the correct procedure in awarding all these tenders so that we don't go the kickback way. We have to give it to the Chinese firms. They've done a very commendable job. During Moi's era, we had the Indian firms that were doing our roads. And if you lived during that era, you can bear me witness what used to happen. Then Kibaki came in, he went east, looked for the Chinese firms to come and do our roads. And so far during Kibaki's era, they did a very good job. They've done a very good job in President Uhuru's era. And that we give to them. Now, if elected leaders are championing for local entrepreneurs, then it's a good idea. But just as I've said, let's build their capacity first, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not mess the whole country just because of interest. I know there are so many people who thought or who believes that it's their time to eat through entrepreneurship. But at the end of it, what we need to look at is service delivery to the common man. It should not be at the expense of service delivery. That's my take today, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, we ask you to support us by subscribing and hitting that bell down below so that whenever we post a new video, you may be notified.